it's working. Oh, it's working. Okay. Okay. After much technical delay, I've got a new computer. It doesn't like live streaming video. Bit of a problem. Fan revs on the CPU. I think I know what the problem is, but right now I'm not using it. So I'm using my old laptop to stream, which is good. It's fine. The new computer makes more room on my desk. Why is that important? Well, because that means that I can go back to doing something that I didn't realize how much I missed. So I've been having issues getting it all up and running and updating drivers and things. Let's turn down the music a little bit. There's some my cousin's music playing that will I don't have to worry too much about being demonetized for the moment. And I can listen to my music. I can take these off. Also options, of course. Listening to some on my phone, but then you guys just have nothing but me to listen to. Yammering. And I find that that's a little more tolerable when I'm not the only thing making sounds. Okay. Glasses. I had done all of this digitally. What you're seeing in blue there are my blue lines from that. Just thought of something. I should check. Is my chat open? It is. I can see the chat, so in case anyone drops by to say hi. Oh, of course it jumps. What happened? Oh, it went all the way up there. I didn't want to do that. You can hear my fan revving. There we go. Pop out on its own window. That's the way to do it. Okay. Something is installing right now, so the core temperature reading isn't spiking too much, so I'm not worrying about the fan noise in terms of the hardware being dangerously hot. But whenever I'm trying to stream or run video recording. It does that a lot. It doesn't make for the best audio. I tried noise suppression, the test with noise suppression on. That can kind of work, but you don't get the quality of sound that my mic is capable of, which is a little disappointing. So I'm not using that. Not getting a lot of folks showing up in the live feed. I'm surprised I haven't been using YouTube to stream in months. Oops. There. There's a lot more detail in the digital version of this. This is like, this page is the first part of the second act of a story that I believe I streamed both the work on the first act and some of my digital work on the first draft of this page. So I've been getting really into using Clip Studio a lot. I started working in Animation Studio 2 and a bit years ago, and was supervising too, so I needed a lot of real estate on my desk for a big screen and then a couple other screens around it. The other screens around it actually weren't really an issue, but the big tablet for drawing and my laptop, which is how I ran my system, took up all the space on my drafting table. And it was just like a hassle to move out of the way if I wanted to switch to paper. I tried having like a second table set up, but I mean, it's just, this is the space I draw in. It's years of habit. I didn't really use the second table enough. So what I started doing was just working on some of my comics for Mind Engine, all digitally in Clip Studio, even if I'd done them analog. For one of those, Dream Life, I gave myself a challenge too, because I had just sort of recently mastered at that point the use of Clip Studio, like the interface, and just being comfortable getting things done on it fast and efficiently. Something approaching what I can do on paper, but like, and it's, you know, it's great, don't get me wrong, I really like the program. I'm still going to keep using it because I managed to dial in what I think is a really good update of the style used on Dream Life Book 1. So I'm going to keep doing that for that. Which is ironic because the original Book 1 is all ink wash and brush and pencil and pen on paper, analog. But it was also like the project was about kind of pushing my skills, challenging myself to something that wasn't necessarily practical but would be good and just my neck. Help me get to like a next interesting stage of the evolution of work. I don't know, a bunch of things. I had some things I wanted to try. It was good for that. And doing the same with the same story, its next installment, trying to make it fairly seamless. Using Clip Studio seemed like a good challenge. I'm enjoying it. I just wrapped up a couple of pages I'm really pleased with. I'll get rid of that. But this one, I started doing it in a really intentionally quick style. I want to keep it simple. So the first 8 pages. If you check my Substack link, look in the description text. The most recent post on Substack has the first 8 pages. It's a free preview. And I was happy with that. But then I got busy with the new job, and the new setup wasn't letting me really continue with it because I couldn't set up my pen and ink station version of my desk. So the new computer came, and one of the things it did was got my laptop off my drafting table. So my tablet's still here, but now it can slide back. If you're curious to see any of this, I posted it also on the last post in Substack. And it opened up a whole bunch of space. Like when I'm done work at the studio for the day, I can push my tablet back, get my paper and pens out again, go back to the desktop. I missed working in ink. Man, it is so much easier to just go and do things. I really like Clip Studio, and I've gotten very adept at it working on design for animation. That's only made me more comfortable doing this, though, in some ways, which is interesting. I don't know, it's a very systematic kind of work, and so what's doing the very simple, clean style for kids animated shows. Also worked on Saving Me. No, sorry, not Saving Me. I did work on Saving Me. That just started launching. You can watch it for free if you look it up. I'll put a link in this week's Substack. But before that, I meant to say I started working on F is for Family, and that was a bit more for the props. It was like simplified realism, clean line, Longclair style. Probably I would say very deliberately inspired by Longclair, because the studio that started this series is based out of France. I think that they wanted. It had a bit of I would tell people it's sort of like if Simpsons was drawn realistically, and that analogy I think is actually not like hyperrealism, just like cartoon realistically. And I don't think that's entirely accidental either, because one of the producers, or maybe more one of the producers, some of the producers were Simpsons people. So I'm looking about applying for a residency at Banff next year. There's a graphic novel and visual storytelling, comics and visual storytelling, or something like that, workshop that they've done. I think they've done it a few times. I'm not sure if the title was the same. I think it was. My memory's not totally reliable though, so don't hold me to that. But if not the same actual workshop, the same kind of workshop that specialized in comic artists has been held before. I have acquaintances who have attended, who asked for advice and no one's replied. I hope someone eventually gets a message. I don't know, I can manage if I don't get any, but it's kind of nice to get some insight into how their experience was. I have a couple of specific questions. I have assumptions about how the application process is biased, the kind of things that they're looking for. So when you're writing a grant or applying for a residency, it helps to understand the cultural context and bias. Like some of the stuff is going to be obvious. They say it right on their site. They have some opportunities built into this for people from First Nations or minority groups. I think First Nations specifically. I'm not sure what it was. Canada Council definitely has minority groups, women, First Nations, underrepresented communities. I cannot remember all the alphabet. LGBTQ RSTUVWXYZ. I don't mean no disrespect. It's just my brain. It's not good at that. I can't do it. Man. But it just keeps changing so often. Particularly poor capacity when it comes to proper nouns. Anyway, what was it saying? Oh yeah. So any granting party org and stuff like that, they're going to have biases and things that they're looking to focus on. So above those groups that they're trying to give opportunities is also just sort of like Canada Council for Grants, Canada Council for the Arts graphic novel grant. I was on the jury, and it was pretty explicitly framed that they weren't looking for things that probably could find a commercial publishing partner with minimal problem. They wanted stuff that was, they wanted creators who were professionally viable, but if you were trying to do a story that was hard to get published otherwise, or actually not get published, get completed otherwise, because people weren't going to pay for it up front, then you could apply for, you can still do this, apply for making a graphic novel in Canada. So what they're paying for specifically is like your rent and cost of living and food. And very explicitly not, like you're not supposed to use the grant money to get hardware. Some you can, it's kind of weirdly picky. I wonder if that's evolved. So Canada Council a few years ago overhauled their system. This is long after I'd been a juror many years ago. And I've partially gone through their site to get a hang of the new setup. I just haven't taken time, haven't had need to dig too deep though. I think I'm going to go for a travel grant application, so help pay for the airfare, which can be quite expensive to get across Canada. So if I get into the retreat, residency, I'll be seeing if I can get that. So I'm going to have to do some research, get caught up. But from the days when I got my grants, a decade and a bit ago, and when I was a juror, they've changed the system a bit. So that's probably a good thing to mention in terms of understanding to the degree to which I can speak to any authority is limited, because things have changed. I always talk about that, so I'm just going to move along. Oh yeah. Applying for the residency is probably not unlike that. I'll have to do a bit of intel work, reconnaissance, can lay of the land. I know one of the mentors. That's cool. I've known him online for years, but I don't think we've ever met in person. So if I get in, that'll be cool. It's not cheap. They have financial assistance, which I do not think I qualify for right now, because I'm getting paid a little too well in animation, which is fine. It's a little unfortunate, but what is what it is. I do think that I can do like buying 2 of these new computers, so I can manage that. Nothing I'd want to do if it wasn't worth it, but I think it's going to be worth doing it. A couple reasons for wanting to do it. One, just like superficial, simple one, it's a workshop that I can spend 2 weeks in beautiful Banff just working on my comics and talking with people about the process. There would be several other people in visual storytelling there. There would be events and things, and you have to get yourself out there if you get in. They take care of room and board, I believe. And then there are probably various events and things. Anyway, I remember reading about it a long time ago. I'm forgetting now all the stuff that I read up last time. But I know it was a thing that I got to the end of and thought, yep, okay, that's the thing I'm going to do. So now the opportunity's come along. I need to do that. I think. Let's stop. Let's look at this for a second. That's good. I'm happy with that. I think I'll there. Minutes, that's good. All right. So relaxing. So we're listening to music from my cousin Sarah Sugarman. It's not stuff that's out there in the market. Compositions she's done for shows and things. She should put an album. I've told her many times. But she gave me a thumb drive with some of her music way back on a visit, and I've enjoyed it ever since. And mostly I believe it's music that I can play in the background without fear of having issues for the moment with your YouTube. And it's perfect for like meditative work time. Doing all little window shadows. So I'm going for line work wise here. The style that I've picked for the box. It's essentially the inking that I did for Dracula Side of the Dragon, and therefore Pent, but without any tonal work. It's just going to be black and white line art. Simple, clean, fast to render, very satisfying, and an itch for me in terms of stylization and technique that I haven't scratched in a while because I've been really getting into doing very tonal work. And I still like doing it, like the Dream Life stuff that I mentioned that I'm doing in Clip Studio now. Happy with how that looks. It's really interesting and effective. And I made the mistake when I started doing this page 2 for the box of when I was doing the digital thing, just getting too close to it, doing too much detail. You can kind of see there in the blue line, too much rendering. It has elements of what I did, like I was looking at the other pages, but I was always zoomed in and it's just too refined. It's too tight. And then I started playing with tones and it's just not, I don't want to have very many tones at all. I'm going to have a little gray in the sky here and that's it, that kind of thing. Keep it very black and white. Minded in generally is going to be a black and white book, but I want this and some other clean, crisp black and white comics to offset the large amount of shaded and tonal and sketchy work for balance, visually and graphic element. But it also is just really satisfying to do stuff where I can do half a page or a whole page. Actually, I could do a whole page like this of what I just did in front of you, but 4, maybe 5 hours a day. Totally. So I'm planning on doing a lot more of that. Here, I'll show you before I tune out. It starts with picking out contours. And actually, this foreground element, I want to do a brush. One of the pros of working in this style, really simple pen and ink, is that my undo is as simple as using a little bit of Presto pen to shave a little here and there. A little inking tip. So I've got this very well rendered underdrawing that I'm actually just trying to do, frankly, a simpler version of. So I'm cleaning it up and simplifying. There are places where I want to revise the form. Like this part of this arm needs to be a little thicker. And there are places where I want to follow the one I established because it works, it's good. And what you want to do is think about the inside curve of your line. Like this one I'm going to shave. So I want it to be fatter. Yeah. So this white area inside, I want to be very conscious about the fact that I'm inking around and outside of it, because that is the form I'm defining. So the point being, people often make early on the mistake of drawing on the line, or even inside of the line, that defines the form that they've roughed. Oh, see? Should always work with the curve, the natural curve of your wrist too, to do those kinds of shapes. Always get more issues when you don't. You fight the mechanics of your hand, where it wants to go. You will always lose. Not always, but you definitely make your life harder. It's just so much easier to get this arc. On that side. Go back to that, but now I want to do the wooden. It's like a paddle we're stirring with. I was really happy with the basic design and look of the bubbles that I did in this kettle. In the digital one, so I'm going to try to keep a lot of that. Yeah. Okay. It's 40 minutes. So much faster than digital work. So much less hesitation. It's partially just because of me. I did this for over 30 years. So basically just the last 3 or 4 years I started sliding into doing more digital, and it was the last 2 years that I've gone all digital. But mostly, as I said, because of lack of desk space, and that has been fixed. So we're back. Yeah. Very pleased. That'll be enough for now. Long time no see. Thanks for watching this if you have been. Go to the Mindagent Substack. Look in the description text. You'll see the links there. And subscribe, and you will get my podcasts, my comics, and these. I'll be embedding these in the the mailing lists too. You can read it online, you can read it in your app, you can read it in your email. Once you subscribe, you can get it a lot of different ways. The podcast can be added to your RSS feeds too. It's all there. It's all for your enjoyment. And when I'm closer to having finished stuff all done and ready to start publishing Mind Engine, I'm going to publish the finished stories with all the dialogue and big chunks of the over 100-page long anthology of Mind Engine in installments for paid subscribers on Substack. You can't yet sign up to be a paid subscriber because I haven't activated it just yet. I'm not ready. But when I do, it will be an option. So go over there and subscribe for now for free and enjoy many things. Hey, you. My cat's trying to steal food. And then I will see you next time. There we go. Right. Good night.